Welcome to SolPods Studio. We're not your average social network. We're a community of professionals, enthusiasts, and students taking sustainability to the next level. Join us on our journey and get inspired by Earth heroes just like you.
Welcome back to another episode of SolPods Studio. I'm Cassie Freyeisen, based in Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm joined here today with a dear friend and former colleague, Natalia Monnard, founder of SQIN Ø, an all-natural, artisanal, sustainable cosmetic products company based in Switzerland. Natalia, I'm so proud of you for bringing the idea of SQIN Ø to life. At SolPods, we are true believers that individual actions can make a difference, and we believe the products we choose to buy and our lifestyle decisions do matter. I'm super excited to share your story with others. You are dedicated to the health and well-being of both people and our planet. And as an entrepreneur, I am sure you have lots of great ideas to offer to our members and others listening who are thinking about launching their own business. Thank you for being here today.
It's an absolute pleasure, Cass. So good to be here.
Awesome. Well, let's jump right in. Natalia, I understand you started SQIN Ø during the pandemic. Can you step us through your background and journey and explain the timing of the launch of your business?
Sure. I mean, it's funny because I feel like I've had several lives in the lifetime so far. And actually, I originally come from Mexico. I was born and raised there with a Swiss mom from the French side and an American father. So I always had a little bit of this multi-culti angle to my life, and that exposed me to a lot of different things. I started my career in philanthropy in Mexico. I even volunteered in a refugee camp in Nepal for quite a bit. And then life brought me to Switzerland, where I started sort of like my second part of our second life. So if I can say it like that, which is where you and I met actually. So I'm very grateful for that part of my life. And I started working in banking, always in management, first in Geneva, and then I moved to Zurich. And in 2018, I started my executive MBA, and that was quite a defining aspect of starting a SQIN Ø, because what it did for me is it kind of lifted my view of things, and it just showed me that there was more to do other than banking, and that there were more opportunities out there, and that I was actually capable of doing more. And when I finished my executive MBA at the end of 2019, I thought, okay, it's time. I've been in banking for a decade and I want to do something different. But what? That was the real question there. And I tried having conversations with other founders. I went to startup forums, etc. And I couldn't really find something that felt close to my heart. It just felt like I was just looking for a startup instead of feeling the startup. And then I realized I started asking myself, like, what am I passionate about on a daily basis? What do I do on a daily basis that could be something? And I have been a user of natural skincare and natural cosmetics for over a decade for health reasons. And this is something that I do on a daily basis without thinking about it. And that it was actually really difficult to navigate because the regulatory environment is very tricky, because there's not a lot of information, and the information that is out there is not clear, so much greenwashing. Anyway, a complex topic. And I had also done a formulator certification. So with that, I thought, why not try this? And this was in the middle of the pandemic. So in 2020, I registered the company and we launched our first product, which was a natural deodorant in May 2021. And that's where it all began.
And I'm just so proud of you for jumping out of your comfort zone. You know, both of us, we were both working in banking, and we've both, we wanted to find something that we're passionate about and something that we've been practicing our whole life. And I remember always sitting next to you, you always cared about the food you were eating, the products you were buying. And I always admired that about you. So I love how that has really come full circle, and you took that interest and passion and you turned that into your business idea. So couldn't be more proud for you, Nats.
Oh, thanks.
And, more and more products are actually claiming clean beauty today. What does that actually mean?
Oh, this is a trick question, actually. So it means different things in different parts of the world to start with. And that is a very important point because you need to think that this is a topic that has been growing not because the regulator has realized that there's something wrong with the industry and they need to fix it, but because the consumers realize that and have started demanding more transparency, better products, more regulation, etc. So it's a consumer-driven revolution, which I love in a way because it's very powerful. But on the other hand, it just means that the regulator is constantly catching up. The most stringent regulator out there, as for most topics actually, is the European regulator. So just to give you an example, last year, the European regulator banned an ingredient called Lilial. And Lilial is a product that makes flowery odor last longer. And it's very well known for actually over a decade that Lilial can, and most probably most of the times has, a negative impact in fertility for women. And almost every single perfume out there or flowery scented body lotion or anything that smells a bit like jasmine or stuff like this will have Lilial to preserve the perfume for longer. Now, that has been banned in Europe. So brands like Hermès, Olaplex, The Body Shop had to take out products from the European shelves and rework their formulas. But in the US, where you're based today, this ingredient is not banned. So if you go to your drawers and you start looking for ingredients in your products, you can very possibly find Lilial in them. And so this is why this is so difficult to navigate, because have you ever heard about this topic?
I've never heard about this ingredient. I've heard about other ingredients, but not this one. Never.
And this is so broadly used in so many products out there, particularly targeting women. And women are the most affected by this product, by this ingredient, right? So it's a very tricky topic. And in addition to this, so there's misinformation, there's lack of regulation, there's lack of transparency, and there's a lot of greenwashing. So natural, clean, sustainable. I mean, you're in this area and in this topic as well. It's become a marketing jargon thing. And a lot of people use it just with that intention, instead of using it for the benefit of the consumer. And this is a problem. And I think this is the biggest problem, right? So one of the things we did at SQIN Zero is in our website, you will find the ingredients that we use, the ingredients that we don't use. And in every product that you buy, in the notice, you will have the chemical name. So what it's called the INCI name, meaning the name that the regulator uses for the ingredient, and the common name. Because, for example, if I told you, would you buy a product that has something called Butyrospermum parkii? Would you buy that?
I doubt it.
You know what that is? That's shea butter. You should absolutely buy that. It's wonderful for your skin.
See, I never knew.
Yes, but how can you? How can you? I mean, it should be illegal for products to have the INCI name because that creates confusion for the consumer. And so what we do is from a regulatory perspective, you need to have the INCI name. So we always have INCI and common name. And that's a little bit of what we can do to help the consumer navigate this very complex topic. But it's very, very challenging.
Well, I love this practice of listing out the common name. And I was checking out your website and I saw all the ingredients listed. And I thought to myself, wow, I love this layer of transparency for your customers. And I can tell you are really dedicated to sustainability and are committed to helping your customers make healthier and better informed decisions about really what they're putting on their skin. Maybe could you go a little bit deeper and tell us about your SQIN Zero products and how you have really integrated sustainability into your approach?
Sure. I mean, I can talk about SQIN Zero for hours, so you're going to have to stop me at some point. But I mean, there are three things that were very important for me when creating this brand. And one was I wanted products that actually worked. And I was very as a consumer, I was so tired of buying natural ingredient products that didn't give me the results I wanted. So, or at the other end, that I had to reapply every 2 hours because otherwise I smelled. And this is an absolute no-go for me. The second point was I wanted transparency, which is a topic that we have already covered. And the third topic was I wanted excitement. I was also very fed up of natural ingredients that go a little bit on this, I don't know if I can call it like this, but a bit this hippie trend where it's just a boring aluminum tin with some product inside that smells like nothing. I wanted something that makes me enjoy that moment where I use it, that makes me feel precious, that gives me these 5 minutes I have for me in the morning. They need to be awesome because it's what kickstarts my day. And so all these were requirements for us when starting. So on the ingredient side, what we do from a sustainability perspective is we have actually only been able to find 2 providers that gives us the transparency and the traceability that we want. So every single ingredient that we use, we can track it down to the farm where it comes from. And that is useful in 2 ways. One, we can choose to support farmers that are using responsible growing or responsible farming or responsible even the harvesting of the ingredients. So that's really, really great. But also in ensuring that our products maintain a certain quality. We are a premium brand and we want to provide that consistently to our consumers or clients. And the other thing that we did is we fought very hard to have the kind of packaging that we have. And we use only recycled bamboo. So our entire outside packaging is bamboo and the inside is aluminum or glass. So 100% recyclable materials. And this was very hardcore negotiations with our supplier who only had bamboo and plastic. So it was really months of pushing them over to try to do this new packaging for us. And we managed in the end. So that's a little bit about how we integrate it. And the last thing that we do is, I think companies have a responsibility to be more sustainable, but it's a shared responsibility with the consumer. It cannot be all in the weight of companies. That's not how we really achieve sustainability. And to do that, we have reusing kind of campaign where if you send us 7 empty, cleaned, properly taken care of packages, we will offer you a free deodorant with your next order. And that is in a spirit of trying to partner up to do better for our planet.
I love this. I love the importance of shared responsibility. I think that's so key. And your packaging is gorgeous. Like the bamboo look is just stunning. You look at your website and like, wow, I want this deodorant. It's so pretty. So all you need in the morning really is a nice cup of coffee and your cute, eco-friendly cream deodorant, and then you're ready to go. You're energized for the morning.
That's the idea. That's the idea.
That's awesome. So you described your approach to sustainability, and I wanted to ask you, why do you feel sustainable consumption and production really is so important in today's world?
There is, I don't know how the weather is in Tennessee, but I am in Switzerland and I am melting. And there is no denying that we are doing something to the planet. Now, I don't want to say that we are the cause of the planet warming. I think there is a natural cycle to temperature changes in the planet, but we are definitely an accelerator agent, right? And the problem is that when we talk about sustainability, the truth is that nothing that we do will be sustainable because we're just too many people in this planet. But with that given reality, how can we actually have a positive impact and try to slow the acceleration that we have fostered for the global warming? And that has to do with, obviously, plastic waste, which is why the packaging part for us was so important. But it also has to do with how do we produce. So we produce everything in small batches so that we don't need to have huge machines running for hours without end. Everything is handmade, so we can make better use of electricity and storage space, etc. We produce also only as we need, so we don't produce huge batches that we are then just storing in shelves or in refrigerators, etc. And these are little contributions that, regardless of the reality of things, can positively impact and de-accelerate the progress of this climate change and global warming and biodiversity. And we are responsible for that, because if not us, who?
I couldn't agree more. And like you said, what steps businesses can take to just do small changes, just as individuals, if we can all do small changes that can add up, then we'll be, on a better trajectory than we are today. So I could not agree more. And really coming back to the launch of SQIN Zero, I know you originally wanted to launch the business, pure, true Natalia style with nearly 10 products. But then you decided to simplify. What contributed to this decision to really streamline in the early days?
That's such a good question. So, because you take me back, and when I think about this, I'm like, what the hell was I? How did I even think this was at all possible? Like, launching one product was already so ambitious, right? How did it even cross my mind? 10 products. So what kind of madness is this? And look, when you are passionate about something, and it's something, not only I'm passionate about the topic, but it's something that has changed the way I live, right? Using natural products. And it was such a challenge finding the right kind of products for me that gave me these three things I talked about: the efficacy, transparency, and excitement. That I just wanted to put the solution on the table for everybody and just say, look, here are your 10 essentials, go for it. This is the solution. And as I move forward and I really grasp an understanding of what launching a product really is, I realized that was maybe not going to be possible, and also was not going to be the right approach, because every product launch is, and I know I don't have kids, so I say this with all due respect, but this is like having a baby. You're baking the baby for over 9 months, and you think that once the delivery is here, the hardest part has been done. But actually, this is when the challenge really starts, right? Exactly as when you have a baby, the baby's here. Now you raise it for the next 10 years at least. It's going to be quite difficult. And product launch is the same. We started with a natural deodorant because this was a product I struggled the most with, to find something that really worked. And I remember sometimes being in the office and just not lifting my arms because I was so afraid that I was going to smell, because the products I was using didn't work. And we worked in a bank, and that would not have been good to have a stinky person around you. So, but it was always a stress, right? And the deodorant I've been using it for years. My partner uses it when he does CrossFit, and it's just wonderful to be able to rely on something like this. So it was, as soon as I realized that 10 products was not going to be an option, I knew that deodorant was going to be our first product, despite the fact that it's a very commoditized product. It's not seen as a beauty product. It's seen as a hygiene product, which is a different angle for people. But we're trying to change that, because your armpits, it's such sensitive, delicate skin. You should be probably one of the areas of your skin that you should be the kindest to. And we forget about that because of how deodorant has been sold to us for decades. But that's a little bit how this came to be, and how we went from 10 products to one deodorant launch, then another launch of a food deodorant, which is a similar product, in November of the same year. And last year, in 2022, we launched our 3 essentials of skincare through our crowdfunding, which was a unique challenge as well, and a new learning. But that's a little bit the process.
That's so exciting. And it really does the process and the journey really does sound like a labor of love. Like you mentioned, you don't have any children, but this has been your baby and you have really went through all the stages of life so far and so much more to come. So it's so, exciting to hear about the journey. And so you've talked about the deodorant. Could you tell us a little bit more about where to next for SQIN Zero? Any other products? What are your goals over the next few years?
So we've thought about this a lot because you can go in many directions, right? We thought about, do we now expand to other countries and spread outside of Switzerland? Because right now our products are only sold in Switzerland, although we have regulatory approval to sell in Europe. So it would actually be a natural step to do that. However, we are very conscious of the quality that we want to continue to deliver. I think you said it perfectly. It's a matter of love and self-respect for the brand. So we don't want to cannibalize the brand and the quality for growth. So we will only take the step once we are ready. So no blitz scaling for us. We really want to take our time. We are planning on potentially having new products, but right now it's about stabilizing the products that we already have, about ensuring that we have sticky clients that can help us grow with them. And I think my years in banking has made me extremely client-centric, and this is how I want to do it. So I don't want to grow the brand and then have clients catch up to our growth. We want to grow with the love of our clients for our products. And that's a little bit the approach. It sounds underwhelming, but it's actually very exciting.
I can testify. She is very client-centric. Client goes first. And education for you is really key too. And I see that through everything you're doing with SQIN Zero, whether that's through your social media, what you put on your website. You're always trying to educate your clients how they can become, more sustainable consumers, but more knowledgeable consumers. And I'm sure in your role as founder and CEO, you're really attending some cool conferences or trade shows or events to stay tuned into those key trends in clean beauty and to really help you stay ahead of the curve. What would you say are the clean beauty trends of 2023 that we should be mindful of?
I mean, it's a very interesting time, right? Because I also think now there's a lot of space for beauty and technology to match. And I wonder how AI will influence this space, but it will influence it. There's no doubt about that. But when we talk about current, really 2023, 2024 trends, I mean, water-free is definitely something, and this is something that we do. What water-free means is that if you go to your typical over-the-counter facial moisturizer, you will see that most of them contain 80 to 85% water in them. You know what water does to your face?
Probably actually does the inverse. It maybe actually dries it out.
Yes, that's what it does. So it either does nada or it does some dehydration. So you are paying for a product that has 85% of an ingredient that does nothing or even does the opposite of what the product should be doing. By having water-free products, what you do is you have to have 100% active ingredients, because oils and butters and emulsifiers have all vitamins and additives that will do something for your skin. So that is the beauty of water-free products, is that you get 100% active ingredients. Another trend is also ingestibles, and there's a lot of this, and I'm very cautious with this topic, but you ask about the trend, so I want to put it on the table. I think you have to be extremely mindful of what you eat. So it's already important to be careful of what you put on your skin, what goes directly into your stomach, even more so. But this is a very big trend of beauty from inside out. The collagen is a very big topic also in beauty conversations in the beauty world. But it's a topic, again, I'm very cautious about it. If you're going to do this as a consumer, you need to do your homework and do your proper education and make sure that you consult with and personalized. So I think this is also going to be driven by technology, as we said, maybe AI. So products or companies that really test your skin and that create a moisturizer that is uniquely created for you and your needs. We're all different. We all live in different parts of the world. Our our skin has different needs, and that this just makes sense to me. How will this work or look? I'm not sure yet, but this is something that will happen. And last but not least, mental health, which I also consider as part of the beauty, wellness, self-care world. And this is a very important one that actually includes sexual health as well. So these are the trends I see for the moment.
These are super interesting. Thank you for sharing that. And I have one question that I really am dying to ask you. If you could take just three... If you could take just 3 eco-friendly beauty products for a long weekend trip, let's imagine me and you were going to the Swiss Alps or maybe even down to the south of France. What would you pack in your suitcase and why?
So you owe me a trip is the first thing I'm going to say, because now you've put the question out there. So better make good on that one. The other end, no questions asked. The other end, cream for sure. It goes with me everywhere I go. I don't leave anywhere without my deodorant. So this comes with me everywhere. Probably a mineral-based sunscreen. Sunscreen is, again, one of those that is very tricky for me to talk about. A lot of people ask us, why don't you do sunscreen at SQIN Zero? And it's because it's such a difficult product to do properly. I still struggle with this one, but sunscreen is something I leave with 4 things out of my house every single time I step out: my keys, my cell phone, my wallet, and my sunscreen. And I apply it if I'm outdoors and it's sunny. I apply it every 2 hours. It's an absolutely essential one for me. And the third one, probably a butter-based moisturizer that I can use in my body and on my face as well. If I only have 3, maybe those would be the ones.
So the deodorant and the butter-based moisturizer are coming from SQIN Zero, right? You have those both on your...
Absolutely.
Okay, awesome.
Absolutely.
So now I want to change gears a little bit, and I want to talk around your educational background and your training and how it really has helped you in your journey into launching your own business. And what would you recommend to those looking to tap into organic skincare or the cosmetics industry in general? What could you really recommend to these people that are investigating, but they're not sure yet if that's the way they want to go, or they might not yet have the courage to go there, but they're contemplating it?
Mm-hmm. Concerning the organic skincare, I did formulation training certification, which lasts 2 years. So it's not, the first thing I want to say is not just like I will start doing some do-it-yourself on my kitchen counter. Like, it's a proper investment, it's a proper training, and you need to have the time and the will to go through it. I did it at Formula Botanica, which is really, after doing so much research, I think it's really the best and the most complete. They also have not only formulation training, but they also have a bit of an entrepreneur, how to go about setting up your business. So that could be a good angle. What I had done before is I did an executive MBA here in Switzerland, and that gave me the business tools I needed to set up a business. And almost more than the business tools, maybe the confidence to say, okay, I can actually do this. And if I fail, it's okay to fail. And that is something that I didn't think I would take out of my executive MBA when I first started. But it did. And the last thing that I would recommend is, this has been a tricky one to navigate, is marketing. It's it takes so much time. It's changing constantly. The algorithms out there, please, Instagram, give us a break, and stabilize for over a year, please. But I did a digital marketing course at London Business School, and that was also very, very helpful in just giving me a big picture of how to navigate such a complex topic as well.
I like that you thought about it from, like a broad universe. So you had the traditional, education, the experience, your MBA, which I feel like it benefited you so much, especially with your network. And I just feel like I just could really see the light shining from you when you graduated from your program. So I think, having that educational background, you then had the very practical training with Formula Botanique. And I think that probably has really served you wonders in terms of knowing, the importance of the transparency of the ingredients and just knowing how these chemical, formulations come to be. So I think you have that practical experience. And then staying ahead of the trends, the marketing trends, knowing what's going on in the digital space is only going to help you, to boost and promote your business. So I think these are three really great, training experiences that you have. And I think these are awesome to recommend to, others that are looking to tap into, break into this market. And do you know if Formula Botanique, is that worldwide? Is that offered worldwide, or is that specific to Switzerland, people in Switzerland, or do you have a little background on that one?
Yeah, sure. It's a British school, but it applies everywhere. So it accepts students from everywhere. Everything is online, so it gives you that versatility. The one thing that might be a little bit different is the regulatory framework. But again, because the European framework is the most stringent one, if you are compliant with European regulation, you will be compliant almost everywhere in the world. So it's the only angle that I see that is maybe a little bit different. But we had students from all over the world.
Super cool. Okay, so you have one of the most positive spirits that I've ever seen in my entire life. You have also had a lot of experience in, humanitarian work, and you just have a commitment to helping others. And you are definitely able to adapt in different environments. You were born in Mexico, you lived in Switzerland, you've traveled the world, putting that into good practice as well and helping others. And do you believe these characteristics are really what helped you in your career, especially now as an entrepreneur?
Being an entrepreneur means being able to adapt on a daily basis. So I definitely think being exposed to different environments as a young kid already really helped me. But I think the key thing there has been that it has forced me to listen to different opinions constantly on single topics. Because my mom thought about something different, my dad thought about it something different, the country I lived in thought about the same topic in a different way. And so it just has made it clear that there are different opinions out there, and that to build your views of the world, you can just take the bits and pieces that you think reflect your values, reflect your views, and you take a little bit of everyone and create your own vision about things. And I think that is what entrepreneurship really is about. It's about taking a single bits and pieces from here and there and building something that reflects who you are and how you think things should be done. So yes, definitely. I think our background influences everything we do, the way we raise our kids, the way we set up our companies, the way we relate to people at work. Definitely big influence.
Totally agree. And I love what you said, take those single bits of little treasures from the people you meet, the experiences you have.
Exactly.
You can really put that into building that business that you would like to, grow. What is your advice for other young professionals, especially young women who aspire to launch their own eco-friendly business?
So I think the key one for me, but it's also because of who I am, it's okay to not have all the answers from the beginning. You don't need to be perfect to start, and you just need to go, and you will figure it out along the way, and it's fine. It's fine to do that. And I think as women, we put so much pressure on ourselves to have everything perfectly before we take any step forward. Take the step. You will figure it out. Believe me, you'll find solutions. And even if you were able to plan everything and you know everything before starting, the world changes so quickly that you cannot keep up. So just take the first step is my advice number one. The second is maybe a little bit of what we were saying about taking the bits and pieces that you think are useful is everybody will have an opinion. Everybody will have an opinion and they will know better and they will give you advice. And that's great. Listen to them. Let go of the things that are not good for you, do not serve you, and just keep the things that are useful and build upon that. And maybe the last thing is it doesn't matter if your business is successful or not, if you manage to build a company or not. You have already won by just trying, because it will transform you forever and it will make you a better professional, a better consumer, a better colleague. It's just the internal transformation is such that there's no way you lose. So regardless of the outcome of the business, your outcome is positive.
That almost made me cry. And thinking about, trying to create our own business, SolPods, and trying to make an impact. And like, it really does take so much effort, but you're better for it in the long run. And I'm so proud of you today, not giving up.
Take a deep breath, my dear Cass. Take a deep breath. You're changing the world. It's hardcore.
So are you. Something lighter. Do you have any favorite clean beauty influencers to follow, or maybe favorite books or websites that SolPods members or others out there have to check out?
I have a very big conflict with this topic. First of all, because I think influencers are one of the reasons why we have so much misinformation out there. So actually, at SQIN Zero, we do not work with influencers. I think this is one of the things that is wrong with the world today, because it goes hand in hand with everybody has an opinion. And everybody's now an expert on what you should be doing. And there are so many harmful things out there put in hands of people that actually their job is to sell things to you, not to give you good advice. So I don't relate to this topic. But there are some people that I do look up to. For example, Annie Jackson, who is a co-founder of Credo, and Sasha Plavsik, founder of Ilia Beauty, that also has really, really gorgeous products. Have a look at the website. They do really, really nice stuff. But the whole influencer thing, I have a very, very big problem with this. So no, I cannot recommend any influencer to follow.
I like that. You stand your ground. You are an authentic person and you have, source of inspiration, but your whole life doesn't just revolve around social media. You want to be out there. You never miss a beat. So I appreciate that. I like that you're staying true to who you are. Okay, so probably one of the most important questions. How can those interested find out more about SQIN Zero?
Well, it's fairly easy to find us. The first disclaimer is that unfortunately, as I said, we only sell in Switzerland, right? So if you want to buy our products, you need to have a shipping address here in Switzerland. But you can use also our website or follow us on Instagram to maybe learn more about this topic. And this you can definitely do all over the world. So our website is www.SQIN0, SQIN SQIN 0 ZERO.ch for Switzerland. And there you have direct links to our Instagram, our Facebook, and our LinkedIn profiles, where we put out a lot of information, also mainly focused on, you said it really well, right? I remember the first meeting we had where our advisory board, I said, what we're doing here is not selling products. What we're doing here is educating people. And that's how we try to foster the content that we create on all our social media.
So follow SQIN Zero, spelled SQIN 0. And maybe today, you can only buy in Switzerland, but maybe when the time's right, maybe another day, another opportunity, you will be able to buy in other countries, but you can still follow Natalia at SQIN Zero for inspiration and ideas and just learn more around why transparency and sustainable products are so important. And finally, the question we ask all of our guests on SolPod Studio: what would your sustainability superpower be and why?
I think probably my bias to action. So the moment I decide I want to do something, I'm doing it. That's good and bad. So because sometimes it takes you through complicated ways, but it just means that you take action and you do something about it. And if I believe in something, then I just do it. And this is what happened with SQIN Ø. And I think this is the way I can have the most impact on sustainability. Positive impact on sustainability is sharing with people how to take better care of themselves, how to do it in a way that takes better care of our planet, and raising that awareness through the action we have taken with SQIN Ø.
I love that. It's an awesome superpower. I feel like you already have it today, and it's just going to be amplified over the years. So thank you so much for being here today. And for everyone listening, we really encourage you to support small businesses who are out there trying to make a difference in the world, like SQIN Ø. And please check Natalia out on SQIN Ø on Instagram, LinkedIn, on her website. And remember, your individual habits and actions, they really do add up. And if you're on the SolPods community, please don't forget to check out our Clean Beauty and Body Positivity pod for more ideas and inspiration. And Nats, again, it was so enlightening to chat with you today. Thank you so much for sharing your story and sustainability journey with us. We are so excited to see where SQIN Ø goes next.
Thank you so much for having me. It was great talking to you, Cass.
Wonderful. Have a great day.
Thank you, you too.
SolPods Studio is made possible by listeners like you. Join the free SolPods platform to become a part of our virtual community of changemakers. Links to our social media, website, and platform can be found below in the show notes. If you enjoyed the show, feel free to rate and review our podcast. Thank you for listening and for your support.